Can you see my screen?
Yes,
I
Ram.
can see.
Okay. You can start off, Subhash.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Princeton, New Jersey meetup group. This group was previously created, but it was inactive for some time. So now me and Srinivas are working as an organizer for this one, and we'll be having this session regularly now. Okay. So someone, you can go to the next slide.
Yeah.
So let me introduce myself. My name is Subhas Roy. I am working at Virtusa as a senior MuleSoft integration architect, and I am a MuleSoft mentor also. So I am having 16 years plus experience into integration domain. Srinivas, you can introduce yourself.
Thanks, Subhash. Hey, everyone. Good evening and good morning. So, yeah, myself, Srinivas. So, I'm an integration and technical lead at Virtusa. I have overall 8 years of experience, and also I'm a MuleSoft mentor and also a speaker for one of the in-present event happened in Hyderabad. So, I got a chance to give demo on integration of MuleSoft with IoT. So, I have overall 8 years of experience. Yeah. And yeah, next. Yeah. So this is a safe harbor statement, which will be giving about our this event. So we are conducting this event at our individual capacity only. We are not representing any company or any sponsor on behalf of us. So this is strictly only for learning purpose and knowledge sharing. And if this whatever we are giving demo, if it helps your business requirements, that's good, but we do not hold any responsibility on that. And this is not for any promotional activities. So yeah, next. Subhash, would you like to go ahead?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So today's agenda is like our Sravalingam, which is our MuleSoft ambassador, will be presenting us with the demo and also experience with managing Cloudhub application using Cloudhub platform APIs. So yeah, after that we'll be having demo, and at the we have a question answer session. Okay, so it will be I have enabled the question answer session. You can ask question anytime in the chat, and at the end we'll be having trivia quiz so that everyone everyone should participate, and the winner will get the coupon for the training and the certification. This session will be recorded and will be uploading in our meetup group. I already started the recording. Okay, and as I mentioned in the beginning, who joined, like, it will be muted, or except the speaker and the presenter, all will be muted. We'll be enabling at the end when you have a question and answer session. So you can just ping me, you want to have a question, so I will enable that so that you can ask. And answers can be at any time in the chat box. Also enable, so you can start asking questions, and but we'll try to answer. And at the end of the session, after the end of the demo, someone will be answering your question. Okay, as I mentioned, like, we're having trivia, and we'll expect the feedback, how we are doing, and if you have any suggestion on anything, you can post us. Thank you. Yeah. So as I mentioned, this is like this group was inactive for some time, so we have again started. So we'll try to make this group working. So I request all the members who join, if you anyone want to be volunteer for speaking at this meetup, you can contact us directly in the meetup page. You'll see there's a contact the organizer. You'll see the option. Email will come to me and Srinivas. Then we can set up. You have any topic in mind or anything, and any other topic, like you are what you are expecting from this group, like how we should manage it, or like I want to become a more interactive session, so that any suggestions come. Okay, so you can send anything in an email. Okay, about the MuleSoft community. So there is a MuleSoft Connect coming up. We have multiple places. We have 29 and 38 June. So we have in New York, and then we have London, Paris, and Sydney. So you can go to this link, connect.mulesoft.com, and register. You cannot live event also. You cannot go in person. It is like also online. You can register, and you can learn like most of the things which are new things are coming up in MuleSoft, or you can like if you want to learn MuleSoft, you can register to training.mulesoft.com, and you'll be having a developer session there. You guys able to hear me, right?
Yes, Subhash. It was breaking, but
Yeah,
now it
sorry.
is fine.
Yeah, sorry. Video. Thank you. So training.mulesoft.com is a MuleSoft training site. You can go there and register yourself and go to the developers. So like there's a developer free training. So you can fundamental training, you can go and do it from yourself. Don't need to having any like you don't need to pay anything or like that. It is simply you can go and register. And Anypoint platform, anybody who is new, like you can go to anypoint.mulesoft.com and you can register yourself. It will free trial account. You can play around with this one. You can deploy your application, create some few application, and you can start learning. You have any questions or anything like you are stuck or anything, you can always post in help. We have very good expert of MuleSoft communities, like with the MuleSoft architect, developers, and trainers. They are mainly monitoring this help.mulesoft. They will answer your questions. And it is also helpful for some other people who face the same kind of similar kind of questions. Exam readiness session. That is, we'll wait till the end. We'll be sharing the link so that there is some of the exam we'll be sharing it. Then become a MuleSoft. Want to become a MuleSoft speaker or like Meetup speaker or leader or any mentor, just contact us. We'll be try to help you in that. Thank you so much. Can you go to the next slide?
Okay. Yep. One
Okay.
moment. I will turn off my video as well so that it will have a better view. All right. So let me. Yep. Can I start from my side?
Yes, Raman. So you can introduce yourself, and it's the floor is yours. So you the presentation also.
Sure. Thanks, Subhash. Thanks, Srinivas, for giving me this opportunity to present a topic for your Princeton group. Hi, everyone. This is Raman Lingam. I am working as a MuleSoft architect at Bilinium. Currently, I am located in Canada, and I am one of the MuleSoft ambassadors and also meetup leader for both Hyderabad and Toronto groups. I'm a technical writer, speaker, and trainer, and I'm moderating this Mulesoft-TechZone. So you can follow me there. And I have my website www.sravanlingam.com, and you can follow me on LinkedIn. So before getting started, as you have seen some housekeeping rules, you guys will not be enabled to speak because of many reasons. So you can post your questions, but please make sure that there is no conversation going on during the presentation, because it will distract others and you as well from listening to the session, because all the trivia questions will be from the session itself. So concentrate on the session. I will give you some time. Meanwhile, I will stop now and there, and you can post your questions and we can answer it. Okay, so it's not that only I have to answer the questions. Anyone who knows things, you can feel free to answer the questions, right? So today's meetup is about cloud, how to manage applications using Cloudhub API. But before going to talk about Cloudhub API, we have to know the purpose, why there is Cloudhub API and what it does, right? So first question is, how do you usually deploy the application in Cloudhub? Before that, I wanted to know if my voice is clear. If yes, if you guys are ready, just type say yes. We can start off the actual session. Awesome. So why we are going to Cloudhub API? Before that, so how to deploy an application? So the first step as a developer, when he's learning and all, the first step what they do is they'll deploy the application manually. What is that deploying application manually? First thing is you'll go to anypoint.mulesoft.com, right? The first thing is you will be logging in with your credentials. This is the first step you do. Then you will be seeing your profile here, your business groups and all, right? And then you go to the runtime manager. So after going to runtime manager, as I have only one and two environments and one is only active, but in your real-time, real-time accounts and all, you will see multiple environments. So you will choose an environment where you want to deploy, right? And then click on deploy application. You give your application name. The target is always Cloudhub because we are mostly concentrating on Cloudhub application deployments. Okay. Then you choose your file. Usually it will be the jar file, which was created when you build your application. And you have your runtimes, all this stuff you will edit and then click on deploy application. So this is how actually happens when you deploy an application manually. But MuleSoft provides you a API which helps you to automate this process even without logging manually and all. So to know more about it, we can start our session. So coming back to the session. So managing Cloudhub applications using Cloudhub Platform API. So what is this Cloudhub API? So it's the API which enables you to programmatically access the functions of Anypoint Runtime Manager. So it's more kind of Cloudhub API is more kind of Runtime Manager things which it does. Next, what does it do? It manage applications. It will manage the logs, notifications, and alerts. It will manage the load balancers, VPCs, VPNs, and then persistent queues and retrieve additional information. So to know, like Cloudhub API has lot many features, but we are going to just cover only basic things. But to know more, what you have to do is it is always best practice to go ahead and read the documentation. So if you go to docs.mulesoft.com in runtime manager, you can find Cloudhub API. It is nicely written, so you shouldn't be having any doubts. So I'm just introducing that there is a feature called Cloudhub API which you can use for normal purpose. Okay, so use the Cloudhub API. So why do you can use any of the HTTP client with the Cloudhub API? If you are writing with Java or something, you can use Jersy client or HTTP client, anything which supports the JSON format. And a JSON output should be generated. Okay, you should see an access token in that output, such like the token is valid. So first thing what we do is we will log in into the, I think this statement should be there in another slide, but first thing what we do is to access this Cloudhub API, we will give our credentials, then we will be getting a token. So basically this token is valid at least for 60 minutes, but it always depends upon your account configuration. Whatever you have configured in your Anypoint platform account, based upon that your access token will be expired with the amount of time you have set. So and so what is the purpose of this Cloudhub API? If instead of logging into manually to Anypoint platform and check things, what you can do, you can create a postman collection to know about the status of the applications, like how many applications are started or how many applications are undeployed. So you will get all those things. I will show you in the I will show you in the demo. But the reason this is more for kind of, it's not that I'm saying if it is not for developers, it's more kind of for DevOps team, which will be useful for them because they manage all these application deployments or managing the applications, right? So it will be easier for them instead of going there, checking, searching the application name, then whether it is started or not, they can have a postman collection created and ready. And so that, with just one single hit, it's also an API, right? So with one hit, they can get all the statistics of the applications. So you can also create your own customized API according to your needs by consuming the Cloudhub API, especially the DevOps team. They have some needs, right? Like how many applications are undeployed, what are the status of the applications and all. And for which organization. Again, if you want to switch the organizations, we have to go to Anypoint platform, then change the organization and all. So all these things, it will be helpful for them if they have like API kind of thing, right? And check out the Cloudhub API specification in Exchange. I would strongly recommend to do that because there are a lot more, there are many resources that you can do. Okay, so what's the process? First thing, to access the operations in Cloudhub API, what we need to do? First thing is, the first step is to generate a bearer token. As I said, to generate a bearer token, you need to use your Anypoint platform username and password. Okay, that means you have a resource for this Cloudhub API, which is like get accounts API profile. So you can check this, you can either use, there is another API called Access Management API, but even using the Cloudhub API, you will be able to get the token. I will show you in the demo. That is your first step. Next is after, so remember what I was showing you earlier. If I go back to my Anypoint platform, step by step is like, first I have logged out, let me log out. So it's the same thing. You provide your credentials here. That's what I am saying over here. Here, that's what I'm saying. Generate the bearer auto token by logging into your Anypoint platform and password. Next thing is, after signing in, for you, for me, currently it is only one business group. Okay, one organization. If you have multiple organization, you will be choosing here, right? That's what the second step is. Okay, get the organization ID. For that, you will be using this resource, and next, the third one is environment ID. I told you, if you go to Runtime Manager, you will be having an option to choose your environment where you want to deploy your application. If you want to use design, you can use design. If you want to use sandbox, you can use sandbox. So that is the next step. Okay, so I want to show more kind of demo. The slides are very less, so I want to show the demo how it works. So first thing, before going to demo, I would like to show you the exchange where it will. So if you search for Cloudhub API and enter, you can say it will be present in the Anypoint exchange. So there are like the number of resources. You can see on my left side, there are number of resources, but for this particular session, we are limiting it to like how to log in, how to deploy an application, and how to update the status. All right. So this is the API specification. You can go to exchange and check it out. It will be more, more useful for you to dig into deep. All right. So let's get started. So let me go to Postman. So this is the first step that you need to do. Okay, this is the post method and you are using anypoint.mulesoft. Okay, before that, do you have any questions, guys, before going into demo? Any questions? Are we good to move further? Can you say yes if you can continue? All right.
Any
So,
question, guys, you can post into question answer session. Okay, so
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
answer after the session. Thank
Good,
you.
great. So the very first step is logging. So to log in, we are using post method. So again, everything is in Exchange. Okay. So this is okay. Login is we are using something from Access Management API. If you see here, there is go to Exchange. There is Access Management API as well. So you will be using like profiles and all. So this is the one, login with your username and password. So for now, password, I am disabling it. I'll just stop sharing my screen, give my password and hit the API so that I will get the bearer token. Okay, I have generated a token. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so to log into Cloudhub worth mentioning. Yes, because this is how I wanted to show that access token will be generated. Okay, so we have like access, the response of this login is a JSON response again. It's an access token and the token type is bearer home. Okay, so next thing is you have to copy this access token. All right, And then, as I told, the next step is to get the organization ID. So how to get that organization ID is, again, paste this bearer token here in the authorization tab. You can use bearer token. And here you can see you are using get method of this API/me. So once you send the request, you can see I am getting all this information of my organization. This is how it looks, right? So you can see what kind of user, his ID, and there is organization ID. So this organization ID is of MuleSoft. Currently, I have like only one organization, right? So this organization is MuleSoft because I have only one business group. If you have more than, organization ID is nothing but here the business group. If you have more than one, you will get more than one distance. Okay, so you can find all the information like when it is created, when it is updated, and what is your first name and last name, your email address, everything, right? Your username, your password won't be shown, so don't worry. So okay, so what is the default environment? You remember, for everything when we log in, we have one default environment that is set, right? So all this stuff. So for now, to deploy our application, you can make use of this information for any statistics, but for now, to deploy an application, what is required is organization ID. So the next thing that I do is I copy this organization ID. The next thing we need to do is fetching the environment ID. So how to fetch the environment ID is, and make sure for every you know this thing token, you have to use this bearer token for every call. All right, so this is my organization ID, so you are passing this organization ID in the as a URI param. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to fetch the different type of environments that we have. So I'll be sending the request now. You can see I have two environments here. One is design environment and the other one is sandbox environment, right? And is it a production? No, because I don't have production for a free trial. So it says all this information. Then you have corresponding environment IDs. These are the environment IDs which we'll be using further. All right. So this is type design, yes, and you have client ID as well for your so-called environments. Clear so far, guys? Right? All right. So before going to so the next step is, we are good with everything. We have our organization. If you see here again, we have our organization ID. We have our environment selected. The next thing is to deploy an application. If you manually check, if you are deploying an application, what we are doing, we are choosing a jar file, isn't it? So in the same case here in the deploy application, we will be using the post method. Okay, the post method is accepting the body of form data. So form data is usually used to pass more than one payload. It is not necessary that you have to use file, but multi-part form data means you are using more than one payload. So one of the things is app info JSON, where you will be passing all kind of information about your application, like the name of the application, and if object store is required or not, all those kind of information you will be passing as a JSON value here. I'll show you, I'll go through this. And the next thing is the file. The file is nothing but our jar file, where we will be using it to deploy our application. Clear? So before that, what is the prerequisite? You should have your jar file here. Okay, again, you must be asking, Shravan, so this is a manual process and all. As I'm saying, like, there is an option, so it's not that you have to mandatory use Cloudhub API, but I was saying, like, yes, there is an option where you can also deploy applications using an API. All right, so maybe you can customize your things and you can write, you can build a new application where you can automate all this process. I will show you that at the end of the session. But yeah, so let me go through this app info JSON, what it is present. So here, if you can see my screen. Okay, so you can see auto start equal to true or false. Yes, I am setting it into true. Domain, so most of them might get confused. This domain name is nothing but the application name. That is how they have given the field name, but domain is nothing but your application name. So today I want to give application name as Princeton NJ Meetup. This is the application name which I want. And then you can define your Mule version, whatever Mule version you want, 4.3.0 and all, and which region you want to deploy, and all this stuff. Like these are basic stuff, right? Monitoring long enable true and status start. Though you can see status start, I'll show you something in the demo. Okay. And workers, how many workers you want? One worker. And it's micro, and you can give 0.1 vcore. If you want to increase memory, you can increase. And logs enable true, persistent queue false, and object store feed. So these are quite a lot, like where you see all over here, right? You can see worker size 0.500 MB, workers, all this stuff. And enable object store means it will check on this one, right? So I'll go back to my applications. So this is pretty much clear. I will copy this information now and paste it in my this thing, app info JSON. So this is multi-part form data. All right. If you see here body, there is usually you guys use JSON and XML where you select the option raw, but as this is multi-part form data, you should be using form data. Next thing is I have my jar file already present here. You can see in my, I'm choosing it from my Anypoint Studio, the jar file. It's the simple jar file. All right. So when I click send, I wanted to tell you that the application will not be deployed. Then what it will do? It will just create only the application, but it will not start deploying your application. So whatever resource you are using this deploy app, this is only for you to create an application. So here you can see there is no application with name Princeton NJ MuleSoft. Now, when I send this request, it is saying unauthorized because I'm not copying the latest token. So go to author. Yes, one more thing I forgot to say is something about here. So you must be asking a question, Shravan. There is nowhere that environment ID, you have got your environment ID, but why you are not using anywhere in the request here? You should be passing that environment ID as a header with the name X Anypoint. It's the, you should be seeing this spelling. Anypoint is not a full name, but X ANYPNT hyphen ENV hyphen ID. So here is where you have to pass your environment ID. What if I am not passing the environment ID and sending it? It says unauthorized because I should use the bearer token. Okay, fail to create session using the supplied authorization header. And when I send this, okay, seems my token might have expired with my account information. I have to stop my screen sharing again. Let me generate a new one. And give me a second. Meanwhile, you can post your questions. My postman got stuck. Give me a second.
The question, how to pass runtime argument from Bhagavan?
I think there should be properties field as well. It should be there in, okay, I'll show you. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to show something else. Okay, I want to show you one more thing which I faced. I'll show you. So if you can see my screen, can you see my screen, Subhash?
Yeah.
So sometimes you will face this when you are using via Postman. It will say like invalid CSRF token when you try to send the request. Okay, what you need to do is just go to the cookies. Okay, remove this CSRF cookie, close it, and send it, you will get the access token. This is a common issue which I face with this Cloudhub API and with the tokens. Okay. Now I'll come to that point which someone posted about the runtime properties. So now I'll go to authorization, paste the token and click on send. So it says like daemon can contain only 42 characters. Can you see here? So because my application name is more than 42 characters, okay, and it's saying cannot end with dash. So I have to change the same thing, right? When you see here and deploy the application and type something. So it whatever it says, right? It should be like maximum length and all. So let me go ahead and check what is the thing which I have given. Okay. I don't know if it is like really 42 characters, but let me check. Okay, all good. So if I send the request, domain can only alpha cannot end with dash, must not be able to begin with. Interesting. Okay, I think these letters, okay, because I'm using Mac, this double colons are causing the issue, I guess. So let me go here and use the old one. So I have to use text editor. Sorry for that, guys. So I have to use this double quotes. Okay, now I think it should work. So you can see I'm sending the request and you are getting 200 okay response. So what is happening at the backend? If you go to applications, you can see now there is an application just created with status undeployed. Okay, it is not started. So I told you already that this will not deploy your application, but it will create an application with all the details you mentioned. Okay, so someone asked about properties. I think it should be there in the Exchange portal. So what is the resource we are using? Applications and post. So maybe like properties. Can you see here? There is an option called properties here. You can pass your properties here. So clear? Is there an endpoint to refresh the token without relogging? I think no, no, Apsara. What we can do is when we we can have a script in Postman where we can handle that part without refreshing if we want to refresh. So every time when I hit this application, it should internally call this. I mean, we are quite common using these scripts, right, to generate the tokens and all instead of logging again and again. In application, if we want to build an application, we can have a logic to do so. All right.
So also one more thing, in set your account, whatever account you are using, you can set up the time to leave. If you have more time to leave, so it will be available for long time. So in your account, you can set up that.
Do we need to attach any keys to trigger the request to MuleSoft? What kind of keys, Bhagwan? Okay, coming back, I will answer your question again. So I wanted to show you the response. Once we hit this response, you can see you will get the version IDs. Domain, again, don't get confused. Domain is nothing but the application name, okay? And full domain will give your Cloudhub URL application. I don't remember what is usually I keep test as my endpoint. I wanted to check. HTTP. I don't know if that jar is working fine or not, but usually it should work. If it is not working, then I'm not giving a proper jar. So this is your app URL. Then properties, you can see it is not giving any properties. Then the status, you can see it is undeployed. So currently the status will always be in undeployed, and the rest of the information is what you have given when you are sending this data. All right, and when it is last updated. Okay, and what is the file name? It will also give the jar file name, then mule details, the versions, etc., etc., and it will also show this end of support date. It is in epoch format, but you can see these dates are in epoch format. You can convert it into our normal timestamp to know. All right, so which region and all the information is passed. So what is the next step? Okay, so now that you have your application here, sorry, I was checking to run this because the application is not deployed yet, so it will not run. So next thing is to start the application. So to start the application, what you need to do is you need to use the put operation of this. So how to do that? You can just use action as start, domain, domains like if, and again, what is the useful of this Cloudhub API? Suppose you have a set of applications which are undeployed. What you can do is at one go, you can pass multiple application names here like this and click on start, so that it will automatically start applications, like all applications at a time. So for now, I have only one application. So I'll go ahead and where is my domain name? Use this, update here, and then send the request. Okay, again, the organization ID issue. You can write a script which can, automatically take this token. For now, I don't have this thing. Okay, and send the request. So here, the first thing is when you use some update of put operation, you won't get any response. It will just give 200 okay. And you can see here now, it started deploying the application. Clear everyone so far? Can we download the SAR file? Good question, Sandeep. But I think we can download, but I'm not sure, really sure. I should check the exchange. Maybe get method. Do we have any get method? I doubt we can download the jar file, but I can check and let you know later. Okay. So you can see my application is started getting deployed. If you go to the logs. So this is out. So the first step, I'll reiterate everything. So first you are logging in and then getting the organization ID. These are the series of steps. Okay. Login, get the organization ID, get the environment ID, use that environment ID. This is very important, guys. You have to go to authorization and use, sorry, you have to go to headers and use x-anypoint- environment ID. So that's where you pass the environment ID. And once you deploy, this is multi-part form data. So you will be passing a JSON information and a file, and then it will create only the application. It will not deploy the application. And next thing is you have to use update app for that. And you can pass as many number of applications as you want and send it. It will start deploying your application. It will take a time of bit. And if you have any questions, meanwhile, you can, the update call, the environment is included in the header, right? Yes, David, it is included in the header. If you go and check here, actually, this is what I missed a lot. So this is like, when you're not reading the extent documentation properly, you will take more time. So I always suggest go with exchange documentation and follow the process. So here is where you pass the environment ID. If update request fails, will the status be updated? No, David, that's the thing here. If the update status fail, I think it will give a wrong status code. We can try it now itself. So what I can do is I can give the wrong application name, like whatever it is, and send it. You can see here, right? We are getting 400 bad requests. It's saying like no app found with domain. This one. Clear, David? So my application is still deploying. Usually it won't take too much time. Today it is taking too much time. Yep. Meanwhile, it is getting deployed. This is the one yesterday which I have deployed the same thing. Okay, test Jan. I will show that. But yeah, this is how you get this thing. And next, this is the status. So next thing is, if you want to know any kind of status of an application, right? If you go to token, let me copy. You can use the get method here. All right. So let me send the request. So it will give the status saying that, your application is started. So this test Jan 22 is nothing but this one, which is application is started. And let us try for our application name. So to get the status, what is the status of your application? So again, this is one of the useful things. If you know the application names, pass the array of applications. Like, let me do this better. So I will pass one more application name, okay, here, and send the request. You will get all the details of the two applications. Like, one moment. Okay, it's giving all the, I think, sorry, this will give all the applications. This is not required. Probably this is a mistake because it is a get method. It makes sense. So when you are using get method of applications, you will get the status of each application you have. So if at all you want to know, which applications are in your real-time projects, right? You will be having some hundreds of applications, correct? And you want to know, like, what all applications are in started state or undeployed state. You can just make use of this endpoint and get the information. For example, this is started. The domain name is nothing but the status code sys API. And let us see where is our Princeton one. So this is JWT one, which is also in started state here. And this is also in started state. This is the test Jan 22. And this is, you can see the status is still deploying, the one which we are deploying, right? The status is in still deploying state. Okay, this is how you can check. You can have kind of data. We've also like to check what all applications you can group by these things, right? What all applications are in deployed state, and you can just copy it. And I'm not sure why it is taking long time, but it should actually deploy. So you can have some data view fun, like what applications you have, they are deployed. Right. So you can make use of this payload, group by item dot, or I can dot, what is this thing, started $.status. So you can see like you can group by here and see what all applications are in started position, right? And what are in deploying state. So you can have some kind of scripts or database scripts where you can get some statistics of the application. I'm pretty much sure this is because of some jar file issues or something, but usually I can show you the one which is deployed yesterday for demo purpose. It looks something like this. It's pretty much same. Clear? Any doubts so far? Rather for polling for status, is there a way to generate an alert when the deployment or update fails? Maybe we have an option, Apsara, here. For example, we have an option to generate the alerts, create the alerts. This is not sure if it is there here or not. We have seen this, right, Subhash, yesterday? We have some, okay, this is access management.
Yes.
So alerts.
Yes. So Apsara, there is an option like, for example, when your API stop deploying, Cloudhub, in the Cloudhub runtime, you can set up the alert. Like here, you can set up the alert.
Here
This alert will be having if any deployment failure. So it will
yes.
generate the alert to your group, your distribution list, or anything you want to generate. It will display it.
Again, like for this application, deploy application, you have, I think it should be there in the JSON request also somewhere, maybe. Alerts, like when creating, so if it is not there, we can also create alerts using
Yes, you
alerts
can
like
create using platform APIs. Yes,
Cloudhub.
from here also
So
we
you
can
can pass
generate it.
like on failure, severity, your application name and all. So I think it should
Correct.
also be there it in post of this, or else here we don't have, but yeah.
In the
Yeah,
alert is separate, so it will be generated from the
separately.
alert section. So you can just define what
Correct.
application, like you can
Correct.
define all the application, just giving
Yeah.
all, and it will deploy whatever the deployment is.
But we can request probably. It's also good if we can have it when we are deploying the application itself, right? Instead of creating it separately, there should be an option also.
Correct. Like you can, for example, any DevOps teams or anyone who is
Yeah.
building, you can build an API for this purpose. As someone mentioned, you can build an API,
Yeah.
and in that you can define like after deployment fails,
Yeah.
you can get the status, right? If you see status, then you can call that alert APIs, and it will automatically generate also.
Yeah. Is there any way to get specific
And
application status online? I think so, Gajanan. Good question again. Again, I have to go to Exchange, Applications, Get. I think they should be having a return logs, Get operation, domain. Okay, I think here it is there, right? Domain. So you can pass the domain application name. So what I can do is go here, get the name and just pass as a URI param, send it. You'll get only the specific application status. Okay, this is the URI param you can use. It's still in deploying. Something wrong with my jar. So, but never mind. This is my another application where I said like it is deployed. For the first time, we can't generate alerts, right? Yes, for the first time, that's what like API specification shows that we are not able to create any alerts. So next thing is what we can do is, as Subha said, I will show you that one also. I have created an application. I want to show you. And is the action. Many, I didn't get your point.
and
Is action
we,
mandatory to pass to now
no, it
status?
is that someone has already shown you that when you are doing the post operation, right? It's not mandatory to pass the action
Correct.
to get the
Okay.
status.
Yeah. Correct. Even if you're passing, it is not actually helping out to start deployment.
It will not take.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, this is a kind of tedious process, right? In Postman, like I am using like multiple requests and sending each time, copying everything. You can also write a script because Postman has the facility to write scripts, right? You can write JavaScript, like call everything. But why to write a script when we have MuleSoft already? So what I have done is I have created an application to do all this process. Okay. So all this, like, if you see here, I have started if here I'm first getting the token, next getting the organization details, and from organization details I'm getting the organization ID, passing it to get the environment details, and then deploy Cloudhub, and then update the status, and then complete. Right. So this is how I have developed. So that's why out of this, so these meetups are not just for a session kind of thing, guys. You can have your own thoughts. You can create your own thoughts. Who knows, like we can also create a CI/CD kind of thing because we have GitHub access, right? GitHub API where we can integrate with GitHub, and then now you have Cloudhub API. Maybe you can build your own pipeline, right? If you can have that thought, maybe you can use that thought for next hackathon or something. You can try something new. Okay. So for now, I have created something like this. Okay. Application I wanted to show you by running the project. So running what I'm trying to get the token and all these details, the same thing. The only part which I wanted to show is the
Shravan, we are not able to hear you. Guys, give me 1 minute. Let me check with Shravan. Okay, I just messaged him. He's connecting.
Guys, sorry, can you hear me? Oh, I keep on telling, I don't know. Where did I stop?
When you started your showing up that your application in the studio.
Long time. It's long time. Okay, fine. So let me show that here. So yeah, I deployed my application. Did I explain the multi-part form?
No, you start from that time only.
Okay. So guys, whenever you are passing multi-form, make sure that the content, whatever content is there, please make sure that you're passing it as a string, because multi-part, the value always it takes as a string. Okay, all this JSON information is in string. So the only thing you need to make sure is you are converting that into string. So I'm using write operation here. Okay, and already I'm using read operation to pick the file. So it will be already in a binary format. Clear? I'm just cross checking if I am there. Yeah. Okay, clear with the multi-part. I can upload this code in GitHub. I can share it with you, but make sure that you are doing this. So I have deployed my application. As I said, like I have created this application to do all the process which we have done above. Okay, so I just need to pass my application name and status to start, so that I can click on send. Okay, it will give. Okay, it will give because it's in cache. Okay, let me clean my thing. I'll deploy my application. I'm not sure if I told you already, like, guys, you can create your own custom pipeline, because as I said, like GitHub has an API where you can get the data, and then you can use the Cloudhub API to deploy the application. So you can do these kind of things. Maybe you can do it for next hackathon as well as a project. So why can't we have our own CI/CD pipeline? MuleSoft is doing everything. Why can't we just try? It's just a thought and idea. I'm pretty much not sure if it really works, but you can try it, because we have GitHub API to get the source code. The only thing, the trouble would be to build the jar, right? But still, if we can, by any chance, if we have this kind of we have this execute operation, right, to run the scripts. So you can use the execute operation. I'm not sure if maven command it can be run, but you can try it out. This is just a idea which I wanted to give. So now let me send the request. So now you can see it says application started. So all this process within 4 seconds, all this process, it is done. And I will go back to my Anypoint Runtime Manager, and you can see Mule Meetup started deploying. So this is how you can build an application right? Clear? I'm pretty much sure that my jar has issues, so it will not deploy successfully, but yeah, you can use it. Clear, everyone, so far? Any doubts? One more thing I would like to do is, like, as this is from Postman, right? Some people don't like to, have something like this. You can also create a UI within MuleSoft itself. So I have created a simple custom jar. Everything is using MuleSoft. So I have just created a custom HTML where you can pass, application name, like, Princeton Meetup, whatever it is. And you can pass the status here, whatever status you want. You can choose the file where your jar file is there. I'm choosing it. Okay. This one, and you can click on submit to deploy. Okay. This is because of the cache issues. I have to figure out this, why I'm getting this all the time. But if I clean, it will work. Clear? Anyone, any doubts so far? Yes, no's. So you know the purpose, right? I'm not saying like you can perform all the operations, but it is good for, actually it is good for DevOps team. That's what I observed. My DevOps team used to do it, to check the application status, like how many applications are in a deployed state, how many applications are in starting state, and how many applications are undeployed. And statistics, definitely it is used. Like deploying applications will be a bit tricky thing, because you should have the jar file and all, but other things it will. Okay, somehow can you see here, my Mule meetup has been deployed, so it looks good. I think in my Postman I have the old jar file, but that's fine. So the next thing which I wanted to show you is this from the UI part, right? So login, then I will give today's date, like 9 June, and then I'll say ask to start the application, choose the file, submit to. So it says like application deployment started, please check your runtime manager. So now I have to go back, check my runtime manager, and you can see 9th June started deploying the application. So this is another example that you can also have a UI. For that, I'm not using any external thing. I'm just using a HTML page and using the parts template to do so. Clear? Interesting or boring? Is this method advisable for production deployment? Good question. I will come to that point, Hannah. I am telling I have some limitations. Very good question. That is a common question, because you are sharing all your passwords, things and all. But again, in production, not for deployment, but for getting statistics, it is very important. It will be very useful as well. Does this perform MUnit test? MUnit test? Yeah, when you deploy when you're building a jar itself, it will come, your jar will have MUnit test. So when you when you start deploying the applications, definitely MUnit test will run. It's all about your jar file. When you are building this jar file, right, using skip MUnit test, it will skip. If not, it will include. Okay. So next thing I wanted to say, let me see if this application is deployed. It is getting deployed, but the one which deployed, I can check it, which is like Mule Meetup, which we just deployed a while back. Let's see. I'm not sure if it is like test. This is HTTP. You can see present. Okay. So this is a simple, successful one. So this is how we deploy our application using Cloudhub API. Clear? So I didn't go to Anypoint Manager, login, choose the file, all this stuff, right? It's good if you have like one application, but you have more applications. It is something like that. And next thing I wanted to show you. So let me send the request again. This keeps here. I will figure this out why it is coming, and let me copy this code. What I can do is, can you hear? I'm there, right? Okay. What I can do is status. This is status update. Go here, body. I can say stop. I'm not sure if stop is one of them, but let me try to stop this application, Mule Meetup. And then login. So it says 200 OK. So you can see here, it started automatically stopping your application. And it stopped. If you see here, it is in undeployed state. So now if you go back and copy this, and if no, I can just keep get method and pass my domain. And you can see the status as undeployed. Okay, I don't want to touch my Postman collection. Okay, clear everyone so far? Good. Will you be trying anything on your own? Can we move further? All right. Yeah.
That HTTP caching in your application that can be disabled in your Anypoint platform, right? In the HTTP request, not here. Like post, it will be always there. But in your application, when you deploy, you can HTTP request should be there, right? In that there is option to disable in the configuration. So if anyone want to do that one, it will be disabled. Right? Yeah, in the HTTP configuration. Yes, in the configuration. So in the setting or somewhere there will be
disable. I think enable cookies, we can remove this.
Yeah,
right?
it's correct.
Yeah.
So that will help you to.
Yep. Thanks so much. Guys, will you be coming up with some ideas later? Can we start further? Okay. So now that we know about, now that we know about this, how to deploy the application, right? So let me tell you a few things. So demo is done, right? Update, delete status. And there are a lot of operations. I am covering only these things because if I keep adding more, everything in our mind, it will be too much, right? So you can go through the exchange documentation and you can check more. So what are the limitations? Okay, so resources and methods that return or accept. It is not basically a limitation, but still I can call it as a limitation because it accepts only JSON format. Okay, resources and methods, accept a type JSON format. Next thing is the Cloudhub Management NPI enforces the global usage limits. This is very important. Okay, once the limit is reached, it will always give 503 status code. Okay, and the US region deployments, it is like 75 requests per second, and for EU or government, it is 25 requests per second. So make sure that you are limiting your usage of this Cloudhub API. All right, so these are some set of limitations. And okay, someone was asking like, is it good to deploy the production in this way? Guys, again, someone is giving you the credentials. So it's not that everyone has the credentials, but in organizations, usually they won't share the credentials directly, but somehow like only the authorized people who have access to Anypoint platform can perform this operations. Not everyone, they will not give to everyone, but for your purpose, if you want to create something new, you can always use your own a trial account to perform this operation. But in real-time cases, no, it's not given to everyone. So it's up to the C4E team, or up to your Anypoint the MuleSoft team, who decides to whom they need to give access and how you are securing the passwords. All right, I think there are some other ways of logging as well. You can search for more thing instead of passing username and password. But yeah, that's the thing. Please make sure that they are not sharing the actual passwords. Next, as I said, like there is access management API as well, which helps to create roles, permissions. So MuleSoft for every operation, I will show you, for every kind of operations, it has built an API on top of it. So for example, this access management API, environment details, roles, permissions, invitations, sending invitations, signing up, all these things. Again, what more we have? If you go to Exchange and see the portals, you can see Anypoint MQ Broker, Cloudhub API, Access Management API. We have Exchange API also. I saw like in Exchange API, you can also do the description, you write the description and post it, it will update the description as well. So I would recommend strongly that go to your portal. Where is my Exchange portal? Okay, Cloudhub API. So if you go to these portals, right, if you go to the asset list, you can find many APIs, Exchange API and all. So if you go to Exchange API, you will see, like, go through the each method, right, and see what are the kind of things that we can do it from our side. Okay, please make sure you are using it for good purpose, and you can try something new. There are like, so whenever hackathon comes, most of them ask me like, what, give me some ideas and all. You have one idea, many ideas actually, you can do it for the next hackathon. So I hope you will be doing that. All right, so recommendations. This is the part I told you, like someone was asking the question. For more information, please go through the Exchange documentation of both Cloudhub and Access Management API. And as it involves the security related things like passwords and tokens, make sure only authorized personnel are given the access. Okay. For any kind of issues with the API, you can always raise a MuleSoft ticket. And as I said, why don't you create a Mule application, a reusable dashboard that can be used for various operations. So question and answers and networking. Any questions so far? I can take the questions. Where do we set up the permissions to access the Cloudhub API? I think you can do it. Can we use APIs? That's what Akhil, I think I have to check that. Like there are different methods of sign in, I guess. Where to set up the permissions, it will be in access management. Any questions, or shall we move further for trivia quiz and then can have networking? If you have any doubts related community and all. Ready, everyone?
Anybody have
Yeah.
any questions, anything we can discuss now before we go to the trivia questions? And thank you, Saban, for this very nice presentation. It is very interesting.
Yeah, David, that question I addressed, like I have to check that if we have single sign-on, we have to check again the access management. Let me check if there is something called SSO login.
So as per my understanding, there is no SSO login will be not SSO login is basically you will be enabling with a ping federate or your own like organization, like LDAP ID. That will be not there, but you can map that SSO like your user ID to the Anypoint account. Okay, so like in our cases, what we do, we have our DevOps teams, right? We give them the DevOps ID, and that DevOps ID will be not related to SSO, but that individual, for example, I am as an individual, I'll be tied up with that SSO, so I can log in, but whenever I do the operation, I have to use that DevOps ID. So it will SSO directly cannot be done as per my understanding, but we'll check more.
Yeah. Correct.
Yes,
David. For that, you need to have additional kind of script or something like that. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Any more questions?
Any more questions?
Are we good to move for trivia quiz? If yes, can you please say yes, type yes so that I can start things? Okay, for this I get good response, right? Okay, so let me share. Okay, people who are new to trivia quiz or people who are new for the first time, guys, we are going to play trivia quiz using Kahoot. Okay, so I recommend please don't download the Kahoot app. Just use your mobile, not your laptop, because the questions will be appeared on the laptop. Use your mobile, open some browser and type kahoot.it. Okay. Once you type kahoot.it, you will be asked for a pin and you will be asked to enter your full valid name. Okay. Pin I will be sharing in a while, but please make sure that you are playing using browser and don't download the app. It's just go to the browser and type kahoot.it. It's not kahoot.com. Okay. It's kahoot.it. I'll give you the game pin. Once you get the game pin, when you click on enter, it will ask for your full name. Please give your full name. Don't give any shortcut names or any, nicknames and all. Okay. No sunny bunnies. All right. So give your proper name. Only if you are giving proper name, then only people who have attended this from the starting, we have the recordings, right? Only they will be awarded. Okay. And this is how it
I think,
looks.
yeah. So it's like if you have two screen, one is in your answer the question, one you can see the questions, because that will be helpful.
Correct.
Two screen basically.
Correct. If you see on my screen, the left side is what you should be, you will be seeing the questions on your monitor, the laptop, and you have to tap on the correct color. You won't be finding any options on the mobile. Okay. You have to see the options on the screen and then tap the correct color on your mobile. Okay. So don't get confused. You must be thinking we are not able to see the options. You won't be able to see the options. You'll be seeing the question and answer on your laptop or this thing. Only thing you need to do is you have to tap on the correct color. Okay. Done. Everyone clear? If you're clear, I can start things. Guys, if you have any doubts so far, no, right? Okay, I'm stopping my,
Ready? Can you
yeah,
type yes? So we can start. Okay.
I
Yes.
am
Okay.
just
Thank you.
generating the pin. Okay, Princeton JSON meetup, start. Okay, so I'm going to share, we can stop recording, Subhash. I'm stopping it.
Okay.